Let's get started. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Okay, let's first start with the ibara. وَمَنْ خَلَعَ ibnatahu. So it's not خَلَّعَ. Okay, بالتخفيف. Yeah, there is no shad. وَمَنْ خَلَعَ ibnatahu وَهِيَ صَغِيرَةٌ بِمَالِهَا. So this bimaliha jar majroor, it pertains to khala. So who perform khula bimaliha in exchange of mal, lam yajuz alayha لأنه لا نظر لها فيه. lam yajuz. So jaza yajuzu, jim wawza, the root word. Jaza means permissible. So lam yajuz alayha. Actually it was lam yajvuz, right? Lam yajvuz. Then this pesh on waw is heavy, so it's transferred to the previous letter, which is jim. So yajvuz become yajuz, and then waw dropped. لأنه لا نظر لها فيه. Nazar mean interest, faida, benefit. Nazar actually mean contemplation. Yeah, so when we contemplate upon something, so it means we are seeking benefit, right? Benefit. Yeah, contemplation or गौर करना जो है ये it is on for the purpose of benefit. Yeah. لا نظر لها فيه إذ البضع في حالة الخروج غير متقوم. Yeah. والبدل متقوم بخلاف النكاح لأن البضع متقوم عند الدخول. So البضع اسم أن and متقوم عند الدخول it's خبر أن. Yeah. ولهذا يعتبر خلع المريضة من الثلث. Yeah. من الثلث. So it's not salas. Salas mean 3 and thuluth mean the 1/3. Yeah, so 1/3 of the inheritance. ونكاح المريض بمهر المثل من جميع المال وإذا لم يجز لا يسقط المهر. Yeah. ولا يستحق مالها. يستحق its file is الزوج. The doer is الزوج. لا يستحق, he is not entitled to مالها, her property, her money. ثم يقع الطلاق في رواية وفي رواية لا يقع. والأول أصح. والأول أصح يعني the first رواية it is the more correct one. لأنه تعليق بالشرط قبوله, because it is تعليق. تعليق means suspension, to make something suspended upon other thing. Yeah, so تعليق contingency or suspension. فيعتبر بالتعليق بسائر الشروط. سائر. سائر mean the remaining. The literal meaning of سائر is not all. Some people they think of this word سائر to mean the all thing, the whole, but not whole, the remaining whole. Okay, when we deduct something and the remaining whole is called سائر. Yeah. So that was the first case here, and now the title topic which is being discussed here is that the invalidity of khula initiated by father, okay, on behalf of a minor daughter, on behalf of his minor daughter. So in previous cases we learned the woman, she was grown up and she herself, she was initiating the khula, she was requesting khula. Okay, but here in this case the woman, the wife, actually the wife is not grown up, she is minor, and she is not initiating khula, rather her father on her behalf he is requesting khula. Okay, and in compensation he is using her money, her property. Okay, he the khula, it involves the money, na, it involves money, because we pay money for release. So this money, father, he is not undertaking that money, rather he is providing the money from from her property. Means, this minor, maybe she has jewelry or she has some mahar, maybe, and all these things, he is giving that money from that minor child to the husband. So what is the ruling of this thing, whether it is lawful, it this khula is valid or not? Okay. Yeah. So here ruling is that the khula is invalid, although the father, he can initiate khula on her behalf, but here the the utter situation, okay, the situation outwardly, it indicates that this thing is not in interest of the minor girl. Okay, actually father, he is considered guardian of the girl, and his act is considered the child's act. It serves as if the child did that. Okay, so father, he is guardian. Why he is guardian? Shan vilaya, because of affection, because he has abundant affection for the child, for her, for his child. So because of that love and affection, we consider that he will not intend to harm his girl. Okay, yeah, he will not harm his girl, he will not cause any harm to the girl. But here, when he is giving her money as khula, as compensation of khula, this is not in her favor. Outwardly it is an harm, it is a harm. That's why father's guardianship here is accused. Yeah, father become accused, उस पर तोहमत आ गई, इल्ज़ाम आ गया कि मे बी he is doing what is not in her interest. Okay, yeah, because whenever we pay money for something valuable, mutaqawwim. Yeah, the compensation, it should be in exchange of something which is also valuable. But here in this case, the minor girl, she is getting khula, and she is leaving the marital bond. And we know this thing earlier, that the girl, the wife, when she is leaving the marital bond, she is not mutaqawwim. Her bud'a is not mutaqawwim. Yeah, that's why. So why the father is paying money for that not ghair mutaqawwim thing? Okay, yeah. But on the other hand, if he is marrying off his daughter, okay, and on that occasion he pay money from her side, then it is reasonable, then it is logical, because when the girl, she is entering marital bond, she is mutaqawwim, her bud'a is mutaqawwim. So in that case, father paying money, there is no harm, it is logical. Got it? It is natural. But here it is not natural, it is not normal. So outwardly it is an harm, causing harm to her. That's why. Yeah. So that's the whole case here. And there are some more aspects of this masala, and inshallah we we discuss them when we translate the ibara. وَمَنْ خَلَعَ إِبْنَتَهُ, and if a person obtains khula on behalf of his daughter, Okay, waman khala'a, and who perform khula. Okay, or who obtains khula. Actually it is a request na. Khula is, it is it it is carried out by the husband, not the girl, the wife and her father. So here, that's why we can translate this: the person who obtains khula ibnatahu on behalf of his daughter. Okay, so he is agent, he is deputy of his daughter. Wahiya saghira, while she is a minor. So this wow, this jumla wahiya saghiratun, this jumla is called, jumla haliya. Okay, yeah, and he is obtaining khula in a state where the wife, the girl, is saghira, minor. Okay, so bimaliha, with her wealth. So this bimaliha is related to khala'a, who obtains khula bimaliha, in exchange of her wealth. Lam yajuz alayha. So if father, he pays money from his pocket, then it is valid, then it's good. Okay, the problem issue arises when he pays the compensation from daughter's property. Okay, lam yajuz aliha, it is not valid for her. Why? لأنه لا نظر لها فيه, because there is no benefit. La nazar. So nazar actually mean contemplation, but here we use this word for benefit, which is the outcome and result of contemplation, because there is no benefit, there is no advantage laha, for her, fihi, in the khula. Yeah, and father supposed to be causing benefit for her, to bring about benefit for her, not the damage for her. Is il budu'u fi halat al khuruj. So why there is harm, why paying this money is not good? So it is because al budu'u fi halat al khuruj, the budu'a in fi halat al khuruj, in the state of separation, ghayru mutaqawwim, holds no monetary value. It holds no monetary value. Yeah, wal badalu, because when she get released now from marital bond, she is now free woman, so she is not subject to money, mal or anything. That's why she is ghayru mutaqawwim, she hold no monetary value. Wal badalu mutaqawwim, but on the other hand, the money we are giving to the husband, this badal, compensation, khula, this one is mutaqawwim. Wal badalu mutaqawwim, whereas the compensation is holds monetary value. Got it? Yeah. तो मुतकव्विम को मुतकव्विम की एक्सचेंज में ले सकते हैं ना, दैट इज़ रीजनेबल. when you exchange the mutakawwim thing, okay, in with the mutakawwim thing. But here, yeah, here we are exchanging mutakawwim thing with something which is not mutakawwim, so that is the thing. But bikhilaf in nikah, unlike marriage, this case is different from marriage. Okay, यहाँ तो खुला का केस है ना, मैरिटल बॉन्ड को डिसॉल्व किया जा रहा है. तो निकाह में क्या होता है, मैरिटल बॉन्ड को इस्टेब्लिश किया जा रहा होता है. तो निकाह के अंदर जब वो निकाह में एंटर हो रही है, शी इज़ मुतकव्विम. while in khula the bud'a is not mutakawwim. So the both cases, they both are different from each other. In nikah, the wife, the bud'a is mutakawwim, and in khula it is not. Okay, that's why the ruling is different. Okay, so he is alluding to the same to this difference, saying bikhilaf in nikah, unlike marriage لأن البضع متقوم عند الدخول, because the private part becomes of monetary value at the time of entering into the contract, entering into the marriage contract. Okay, yeah. The scenario is that the in nikah case, the father he is marrying off his minor son. He is marrying off his minor son uh, um, to a woman on mahr mithal, on mahr equal to the peers. So in this case, the subscribing mahr and paying it to the woman is good. It is valid. Okay. Yeah. So he says لأن البضع متقوم عند الدخول, because the bud'a, the private part, becomes of monetary value at the time of entering into the marital contract. ولهذا, and that's why means, and on this basis, what basis? Basis is that if that the bud'a in the state of khuruj, in the state of releasing, غير متقوم, is not of monetary value, and it is of monetary value in the state of entering. Okay, based on the basis of this principle, يعتبر خلع المريضة من الثلث. It is reasonable, okay, right, that the khula of a sick woman, al-marida, the woman on her deathbed, the khula of a sick woman, yu'tabaru, it is counted, min al-thuluthi, from 1/3 of the estate, from 1/3. Why is that? Because the she is doing khula na, she is requesting khula. So in khula she is not mutaqawwim. Okay, she holds no monetary value. Okay, so since she holds no monetary value, and she is paying a compensation as khula, a badalul khula, to her husband, this payment is not obligatory, it is voluntary rather. Why is that? Because in transaction, in exchanging things, we know we exchange a valuable thing for a valuable thing. Okay, mutaqawwim in exchange of mutaqawwim. But here in khula, she is ghair mutaqawwim, and her and the other the counter value is mutaqawwim, which is money. Okay, so this is not a contract, this is not an exchanging item in its true sense. Okay, that's why we say this payment is not obligatory, she can refrain. Okay, it is voluntary, and all the voluntary payments, they are taken from 1/3 of the whole estate, for the whole property. You know, if there are loans on the person dying, so the loan, they are obligatory payments, so they will be taken from the whole tarka, from the whole inheritance. Okay, but the voluntary payments, they are not taken, they cannot be taken from the whole tarka, only from the thulus, from 1/3. And reason is famous, because the person who is dying and who is on his deathbed, he does not own his wealth purely, he don't own all the wealth purely and solely. Rather, the other relatives, now they have their share in this tarka, inheritance. Got it? So that is the thing he is alluding to, saying يعتبر خلع المريضة, the khula of a sick woman is counted min al-thuluthi, from 1/3 of the estate. Yeah. وَنِكَاحُ الْمَرِيضِ بِمَهْرِ الْمِثْلِ مِنْ جَمِيعِ الْمَالِ. But as opposed to the man dying, man on his deathbed, and he wanted to marry with a woman on mahr misal. So this mahr misal will be paid from the entire wealth, min jami' al-mal, not from the 1/3. Why is that? Because it is obligatory payment. He is marrying to a woman, and he is obligated to pay mahr. So mahr is obligatory payment, no? So this will be taken from the whole wealth, from the entire wealth. So this is how the nikahul marid is different. It is different from the khula of marida. Okay, So he says وَنِكَاحُ الْمَرِيضِ بِمَهْرِ الْمِثْلِ, whereas the marriage of a sick person بِمَهْرِ الْمِثْلِ, with a mahr equal to peers, min jami' al-mali, it is taken from the entire estate. Why? Because here there is an exchange of valuable thing for valuable thing, exchange of value for value, you know. Yeah. So it is a contract, it is an obligated contract, since the both exchanged items, they are valuables, mutaqawwim. Okay, so these three masalas actually, the nikahul marid and khul'ul marida and the nikah of a minor child. Okay, these three cases, they are just discussed here, and they had only a relation with the main topic. They had there is a relation connection between the main masala and these three, so he just mentioned them as a side note here. Now وَإِذَا لَمْ يَجُوز, from here he is going back to the main case, the main masala, which is khula by father, okay, of his khula initiated by father for his minor girl. That is the case. So we said that this khula is not valid if the father is paying the compensation from girl's property, then it is not valid. So since it is not valid, he resumed this thing from here and say وَإِذَا لَمْ يَجُوز, as such a khula is not valid, لَا يَسْقُطُ الْمَهْرُ, the liability for the payment of dower is not extinguished. لَا يَسْقُطُ, it is not removed. Okay, although we know in khula mahr becomes extinguished. Okay, khula nullify, na? But here the mahr is not extinguished. Why? Because khula is not valid. وَلَا يَسْتَحِقُ مَالَهَا, and even the husband is not entitled to her wealth as compensation. As compensation, he cannot require to get paid. Okay. ثم يقع الطلاق في رواية. Now the other ruling of this masala is that khula is invalid, we know this, but whether this case results in divorce or not, whether or not, that is the another question. So if the divorce is going to take place here or not. So we have two narrations, okay, from our jurists. So according to one narration, it is the talaq will take effect, and other narration says talaq will not take effect either. Okay, the reason for but he says the first narration, which says the talaq takes effect, it is more stronger opinion and authentic one, and he mentioned the logic for its authenticity. He said لأنه تعليق بشرط قبوله, although outwardly this is apparently it is a khula case, but implicitly, insidely, it is a case of suspended divorce, contingent divorce, where the husband, he put some condition to pronounce talaq. So here if we contemplate, we find here that the husband actually he made the divorce contingent upon the father's acceptance, father's guarantee. He requires father's guarantee that if you guarantee that you pay me the compensation, then okay, then I will give divorce. So this is a in its essence it is also, although outwardly it is khula, but insidely it is a suspended divorce also. So that's why in adherence to this, that it is a suspended divorce, we say divorce takes effect, because whenever we make something contingent upon other thing and the condition occurs, the consequence also occurs. Okay, so it is just like all the contingent conditional statements. Okay, so he says ثم يقع الطلاق في رواية, then divorce occurs according to one narration, وفي رواية لا يقع, and according to another narration it doesn't occur. والأول أصح, the first narration is stronger opinion. The basis for the first narration is that لأنه تعليق, because it is a suspension, it is an association, it is an association of the divorce بشرط قبوله, with the condition of acceptance, father's acceptance. Okay, فيعتبر بالتعليق, it is thus it is thus يعتبر, it is thus comparable بالتعليق to other conditional statements, بالتعليق بسائر الشروط, to make contingent with all the conditions, stipulations. Okay, so it is thus comparable to that, means they both are similar to, akin to each other, and they get the same ruling as of the you know, the contingent divorce has. So that was the first masala of from Bab al Khula. Moving on to the next case.